Hi, my name is Emily Brown. I'm the curriculum coordinator for Hoopeston Area School District. I am going to talk to you a little bit today about standards-based reporting at John Greer. If you are a parent with a student who has come from Maple and Honeywell, you may already be familiar with standards-based grading, but I'm going to talk to you today about how it specifically is being implemented at John Greer. Thanks. So this is the standards-based grading and reporting overview for parents and families at John Greer Grade School. We would like for you to get an overview of what standards-based grading and reporting is, explain the purpose for the standards-based reporting system, give some examples of what changes you can expect in the new reporting system, and share ideas to help you support your child. So what is standards-based reporting? Standards-based reporting is a system of communication that includes report cards and other communication tools like conferences that you have with your student's teacher a couple of times a year, emails from your student's teacher, phone calls, not necessarily just the negative phone calls. We will be giving some positive phone calls as well, newsletters that come home each week or month, and the teacher-created web pages at school. You'll find that every teacher at John Greer has a web page to communicate with you. This is all to report on the student academic achievement toward learning standards. How is standards-based reporting different from traditional reporting? In traditional reporting, we find that we are sorting students. We're deciding who the high students are, who the low students are. In standards-based reporting, we are educating all students. Regardless of where they fall, we are educating them on what their level is, wherever they are, and our emphasis is on bringing them up to the next level. Traditional reporting emphasizes what is taught, and standards-based reporting emphasizes what has been learned. So in traditional reporting, we are reporting based on a subject area. We say we've got a grade for reading, we've got a grade for math. In standards-based reporting, we're reporting on grade level or specific area standards. So we look at all the different standards, we determine what is important, and we report on those. In traditional reporting, we have assessments that are based on teacher-defined criteria. And in standards-based reporting, our assessments are based on specific learning standards. Grades are given for each subject area, like reading, math, etc., in traditional reporting. In standards-based reporting, subject areas are subdivided into a list of skills that students need to master. So you are going to actually get a report on a skill that a student needed to master, and that's going to give you a more specific indication of where that student lies. Instead of saying, I have an A in reading, now you're going to know what skills they've mastered and what skills they still need to work on. Traditional reporting reports on work habits and behavior, and those may be actually calculated into a grade. So you may have a student who's earned a B in a class, and if work habits and behavior are calculated into that, they may know their stuff, but other things are pulling that grade down. In standards-based reporting, work habits and behavior are reported separately. So all grade marks that your student receives on their grade card are going to be true indications of what they know about that standard. In traditional reporting, we can measure students in comparison to their classmates. Standards-based reporting measures how well an individual student is doing in relation to the grade level standards that are expected. It gives us a better understanding of each student's strengths and areas where improvement is needed. And in traditional reporting, we use different language from school to school, from district to district, across the state and the country. In standards-based reporting, the language that you get in one school is the same as the language that you'll see in another school when we are fully implemented in the district. So you're going to see some changes in marks. We're used to the A, B, C, D, F model. That's what we grew up with. That's what we understand. Why can't it just stay that way? The marks are going to change a little bit at John Greer. You're going to see that the grades will be reported as a 4, which equals exceeding standards, 3, which means the student has met standards, 2, they have almost met standards, and 1, they are below standards. As parents who are used to the traditional grading system, your first instinct might be to translate these into an A, B, C, D, or F. You would probably say, oh, well then a 4 is an A, and a 3 is a B, and so on and so forth. But we would ask that you would think of these grades like this. A 4 The student is able to demonstrate skills and understandings that go beyond what was taught in the classroom. This means that these students have developed such a concept and knowledge about, or such a knowledge about what has been taught, that they can take it to a whole nother level. And a 3 would mean that the student is able to demonstrate the skills and understanding that were explicitly taught in relation to the standard. They have mastered what was taught in class. For a 2, we would want you to know that the student is able to demonstrate the simpler content that was taught in relation to the standard. So all standards have some simpler content and some more complex content. A student who earned a 2 on a skill can demonstrate the simpler content. And if a student earns a 1, they need help still to demonstrate this skill. Here are just a few brief examples of some of our reporting standards. I won't read them all because we have quite a few. But in English Language Arts, you are going to see a header on the report card that's going to say English Language Arts, and it's going to be subdivided into other categories, for instance, writing, literacy, reading informational text, things like that. So some of the reporting standards under English Language Arts might be that they use main ideas to summarize text, that they write informational pieces, that they describe how a character changes in a story, or that they clearly and accurately present on a topic. In mathematics, you may see things like they change fractions into division problems and solve. They multiply multi-digit whole numbers, find the areas of polygons in real-world math applications, solve real-world and math problems by dividing fractions by fractions. In music, you may see a standard that says, uses appropriate skills and knowledge to compose musical works, relates artistic ideas, grading with standards. Grade level teams and departments determine what skills are most important for student learning. They create the reporting standards based on these skills. Curriculum and assessments are written to align with these reporting standards. Students participate in a variety of assignments, projects, learning activities all throughout the 9 weeks to practice these skills. And then students are assessed throughout the learning and at the end of the learning to determine what they know, understand, and are able to do in relation to those standards. The teachers determine the grade based on the evidence that the students have given throughout their learning. Students are assessed on their mastery of the standard at that point in the year, not on the year-end standard. So when students are given these standards and teachers have created activities to go along with them, they're getting multiple opportunities to practice and demonstrate their understanding. At the beginning of learning, we would expect a student to be earning a 1 or a 2 because this is something new that they haven't been exposed to in the past. Now that they've been exposed, we would expect to see them grow. So we may see the student who was at a 1 move to a 2 and the student who was at a 2 move to a 3. It's all about growth throughout the grading process. Here is an example of how a grade is determined. The 5th grade class is learning how to write opinion pieces in English Language Arts. The teacher provides direct instruction on how to write an opinion piece over a 6-week period of time. In class, the students are practicing their writing while conferring with the teacher on a regular basis for more instruction on how to increase their writing skills. The teacher is formatively assessing the students as they progress. And what I mean by formatively assessing is that she's meeting with them on a regular basis. She's making note of the things that are getting better as they write and continue to practice their skills. It's not necessarily a quiz every time or some sort of written assignment. She's just checking their progress and through conversation with the student. At the end of 6 weeks, the teacher assesses the student's opinion piece of writing according to the grade level standards for writing an opinion piece. So the standards that have been determined and will be on the grade card, we're going to look at those and we're going to see how the student did in comparison to those standards. And they will be given a grade of a 1 through 4 based on that assessment. How does standards-based grading affect eligibility at John Greer? Big question, correct? The eligibility policy at John Greer has changed due to standards-based grading. In order to be eligible for extracurricular activities at John Greer, students must turn in all of their assignments. If a student fails to turn in 3 assignments in a week, they will be ineligible to participate in extracurricular activities the next week. So 3 assignments in a week, that could be homework, that could be in-class assignments, so those students need to be responsible for their homework. And we've seen throughout research that if students are doing their work, they're going to show progress in their grades. So this policy encourages students to get into the habit of turning in all of their work. Please see the extracurricular policy in the John Greer Handbook for all of the details about this policy. How is honor roll determined? Honor roll. In order to be placed on the quarterly honor roll, a student must earn nothing less than a 3 in every academic standard for the following subjects: math, ELA, which is English Language Arts, science, social studies, art, music, and PE. Students need to have 3s in all of their standards in order to make the honor roll. High honor roll. In order to be placed on the quarterly high honor roll, a student must earn nothing less than a 3 in every academic standard and at least 1 4 on every academic standard in the subjects listed above. So it doesn't have to be a 4 on every single standard. You have to have at least a 3 on every standard and a 4 within some standard for each subject area. So if there are 5 standards for English Language Arts, 5 standards for math, a student would have to have all 3s and at least a 4 in each of those subjects. John Greer will also be giving away the Shining Star Award, and in order to earn the quarterly Shining Star Award, a student must earn nothing less than a 3 in all subject areas for behavior, homework, and organization in each subject. We would like to reward students who are putting forth their best effort. Standards-based grading and special education. All students in general education classrooms will be evaluated on the grade level reporting standards. This includes students receiving special education services in a co-taught classroom. If a student is receiving instruction with modified curriculum, he or she may be evaluated on a different set of standards. So if a student is in a co-taught classroom, they're going to be evaluated on grade level standards. Please keep in mind that communication is key, and it is a two-way street. You and your child provide your teacher with valuable information to support learning. Anything that you can tell your teacher about your student is just going to help her understand them better and be able to better instruct them. Talk to your child's teacher. Share your child's interests and strengths. Share your concerns about your child. Inform the teacher on how you can support your child's learning. Let her know what your strengths are and what weaknesses. Let her know what time you have at home to spend with your student. A parent's role. From research, the 3 greatest influences on student success in school are: number 1, parent support. Number 2, the quality of the teacher. And number 3, class size. Supporting your child. Ask your child 3 questions daily. What are you learning in class? What are your goals for this learning? And are you on track to meet those goals? Your student should be able to answer these questions. One thing about standards-based reporting is it puts everything out there for the students. They know on a daily basis exactly where they are in relation to where they want to be with their learning. They set their own learning goals. It's so exciting to see students taking this responsibility for their own learning. They know where they are, they know what they want, where they want to be. This is a good practice not only for now in school, this is a good practice for them in life in general. Here are some extra resources for you. If you would take advantage of our district website, you will find a wealth of information on a variety of topics. hoopston.k12.il.us. There is a link to teacher-created websites, homework help, curriculum guides. There's some standards-based information for parents on this website. It is a valuable communication tool in our new reporting system. Your child's teacher and building principal are also great resources for your specific questions regarding standards-based grading. You may also contact me anytime. My contact information is on that school website, Emily Brown. You can find my information there and my phone number, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. The Illinois PTA is a good resource online for articles explaining the most recent research in education, and that is illinoispta.org. Lots of good information about educational research. And that is all I have, so thank you for taking the time to listen, and we look forward to working with you throughout the implementation of standards-based grading at John Greer.